want to come and watch the fun, why not do that too? But that'll be this Saturday. It'll be what I can only assume is my last visit to Portage Lakes.
What?
For the foreseeable future.
You think?
I mean,
I think you should come back for maybe a boat day.
I can have a boat day up here.
Well, I understand that.
I got to haul ass to Portage Lakes.
But I feel like you haven't gotten the full Portage Lakes experience because you're there for work. I feel like you need to just go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Ride around on a little pontoon boat, have a couple brewskis.
Yeah, I'm not real big on enjoying myself, Bridget.
That's
for other people to do.
Prefer to be miserable.
Well, not miserable, but just enjoying things is overrated,
Huh.
No, not miserable. There's a vast chasm between enjoyment and misery.
You're right. I was a little dramatic with that
I
one.
like to exist in that little liminal space there.
Listen, you were just talking about Cedar Point. Talk about enjoyment. I had so much fun at Cedar Point the other week.
When did you go?
I went.
Not this past weekend.
No, not weekend. I went on a weekday. It was like a random Wednesday.
Oh, a weekday. Is it packed on a weekday?
It wasn't that bad, but it was one of those days where it was like 90 degrees.
Oh,
so
God.
Yeah.
I wasn't too excited to go because of that, but I also think a lot of people stayed home because of it, so the lines weren't long.
Oh, you were tagging along with a group? Or,
yeah.
Okay.
All my friends got kids, so they were talking about going to Cedar Point. I'm like, what? And you didn't think to invite me? It's like, oh, do you like roller coasters? I was more excited than the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like running up to the line. Like my friends, a lot of them sat back. Like, I don't really want to ride the rides. I'm like, great, I'll take the kids. Let's go again. Millennium Force, round 2.
Right. So you can do them all day long.
I love roller coasters.
Okay.
And it's so cool that we are so close to Cedar Point, the best amusement park in the world.
I had to come to roller coasters as an adult.
Really?
I was terrified of them as a kid.
Interesting.
And so I didn't go on them.
Love them, that thrill.
And then I got a little bit older, and I still wasn't super keen on them. But like when I met my wife, she's like a front car arms up type person.
Same.
And so I was like, okay, well, this is how we're going to do it. And of course, now that's the only way to go.
Yeah.
But like when we were in Orlando for spring break and we took our daughter to Universal, she had she immediately wanted to sit in front. I was like, beautiful, because I didn't know she was going to get freaked out or whatever. No fear at all, which that freaks me out on its own. But no, it's great. Cedar Point's a lot of fun. I haven't been out there in quite some time.
So I hadn't gone in probably 10 years. And then I went last summer with my friend. She lives in New York. She's like, this is really random, but I would love to go to Cedar Point. I'm like, I haven't been there in forever. Let's go. Again, had the time of my life. So now I'm like, why don't I go every summer? It's crazy. We're an hour away. So I'll probably go a couple more times.
The only weird time we had, and it's kind of, it's nothing that we can really complain about because it was fun theoretically, but we did like a thing with listeners years ago to cut the line.
And
so
Fast Pass?
Well,
it's even more.
We had an escort.
Pass, yeah.
So the promotion was, hey, come to Cedar Point with us, ride the roller coasters. We'll be escorted like up the back to where they just walk us up and save some. Trouble is, we ended up doing like 5 roller coasters in like a half an hour.
And you get so sick.
And you don't realize you kind of need that downtime of waiting in line. So we were all like nauseated by the end of the 30 minutes. The listeners had a good time, which was the important point.
I would have
still
signed up
worth
for that.
it. Like we did it another time where the show was off, so they gave us a hotel room.
Oh, I wasn't around for that.
They were around for that one. Well, you were
yeah.
out of town.
Yeah.
And that's why the show was off. So it was like me and Pound Cake, and it was during like one of their barbecue things, like barbecue and brews.
Right.
So we got drink tickets and. Boy,
Barbecue.
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was very fun.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah. Because then, like, they did it twice. One time we were in the hotel that was, like, that you could walk to, and that was the best because, we didn't even have to worry about getting back to the car or anything. And then the second time was when we were at the other hotel and we went to the Crow Bar, and Pound Cake was mad because he's like, oh, it's going to be this lavish gay bar in Sandusky. And it's just a bar that isn't like mean to gay people.
Gay friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was so upset that it wasn't just like a gay bar.
Yeah.
And
he wanted mesh tank tops and hot pants all night in every direction.
But we had fun.
Well, listen, if you guys do another giveaway like that, I will happily tag along.
Mm-hmm. Bring it. Well, we haven't done that in a long time, but
yeah. Portage Lakes and Cedar Point. Those are my 2 favorite activities in the summer.
Those are her jams, as the kids say.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my pre-show constitutional here down on Euclid a lot of these streets down here, downtown, are closed off. A lot of the sidewalks and streets are closed off because they're shooting Superman over on Superior. And so you kind of have to do a little bit of a zigzag around Public Square and side streets off Euclid and all the way down to Superior there. So I'm kind of doing that little thing and kind of clearing my head before the show and walking around. And on my way back, I noticed the House of Blues marquee right here on Euclid of the shows that are coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first thing they had on there is something that's already passed. It was this past Friday, but it was still up there. On June 21st, there at the House of Blues, it was the Cleveland Clinic's OBGYN graduating class of 2024. That's where they had their convocation, I guess, or maybe it was a party. They probably didn't graduate at the House of Blues, but what the hell do I know?
Interesting that they put that on the sign. They could have
That's
just
what
said,
I thought.
let's just go to the concert.
Yeah, it said 21, and I had no concept of time, so I'm like, oh, that's wild, forgetting that had already passed, and today was the friggin' 26th. Cleveland Clinic's OBG, I'm curious how many, if you were in that graduating class, let me know. Because, a lot has changed in their decade-plus years of medical school in the areas of obstetrics and gynecology. I mean, you're coming out of college studying that. You went in with wide eyes and ready to do it, and now you're coming out going, well, I'm not going to practice in a red state, so where are my options, right? It takes a long time to get through that kind of program. And so I'm interested, I was just curious how those people feel coming out. Because a lot changes. You got 4 years of college.
Yep.
You got another 4 years in medical school.
Mm-hmm.
You got 4, 5, 6 years residency, internship, things like that. If you want to, for something like OBGYN, if you want to, a lot of people get out and they go, well, I want to subspecialize. I want to focus on this. That's even more time. So you can come out and be like, wow, things are a lot different than when I went in.
Yeah.
You've got all this knowledge and speciality and skill, and now you got to figure out where you can use it.
I was going to say, it's probably a lot more tough to get a job now. Like, positions probably aren't as available.
Well, the positions are probably available. It's just depending on where you are.
And what you can do.
Your hands are tied.
Yeah.
Right. And, nobody wants to practice under those circumstances, but I just thought it was fascinating. Now, I should say this. There is a small chance that there is a band called Cleveland Clinic OBGYN graduating class.
Play them on 2 hours to midnight.
2024.
Right. And we missed their show on the 21st. So it was probably a party for them, but I like the idea that that's where they had their graduation ceremony. They're on stage there at the House of Blues. They're calling people's names, Somebody walks up there, grabs their diploma, unfurls a Palestinian flag or an Israeli flag. Somebody tries to tackle them. Whatever's going on now at graduation ceremonies. I didn't go to mine.
Why?
Well, because I took a semester off to work and do what I was doing at the time, and so I literally went back just to finish because I had like 2 classes left. And so I didn't graduate with the people that all you know what I mean? Like my class.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't care. Like I didn't walk or anything like that.
Me either.
I was already working. Well, he didn't even go to college. He didn't.
Well, or high school.
You went to high school?
I mean, I went to high school and didn't graduate.
You didn't?
Not technically.
Wait, explain this.
His mom finished his paperwork for him.
I didn't graduate on time because I was supposed to do some class, history or something worthless. And
that's why he's doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't graduate on time. And then over the summer, they're like, do this correspondence course. I just like went, and this is a long time ago. It was a workbook where you just had to like go through and like answer stuff and then send it back to them. And I didn't do that either, but my mom did. And then she sent it in and she's like, all right, go get your diploma. And I was like, I don't even really want it. And so like I did go and get it, but I don't care. Like I've never needed it. It's never come up.
What, did you always know that you were going into comedy? Is that why you're like, screw school?
No.
I don't need it.
No, not at all.
So
I just
Well, how did you think you were going to get a job?
I didn't care. I didn't know.
You're an interesting character, Bill.
I wasn't worried about it. I knew things would work out.
And it did.
Yeah.
Well, I walked for both.
Yeah, you're a rule follower.
I
well,
am.
but also, but it's less about rules and more about like if my schedule had or what I was doing at that point in time, I probably would have been more likely to do it. But it wasn't like I was the first person in my I was gonna say I wasn't the first person in my family to graduate from college. My dad went, but I'm the only one of my siblings who went to college.
I don't even think it was an option. Like my parents, it was like, you're graduating college and you're walking across.
Well, see, like that's what your parents think until they realize how dumb you are, and they go, "Oh, this isn't gonna happen."
You're saying that your family assessed you properly.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like, that they wanted me to go to college. They wanted me to graduate high school on time. They wanted everything to be done. But then when you don't do it, they go, well, we can't force them to do it. And so then
we're certainly not going to pay for college.
Yeah,
under these circumstances.
They were because I did enroll at Akron actually when I got back from the Philippines, and. Like it was the day before I was supposed to start classes, and I just go, get me out of here. I don't want to do any of this stuff. So I canceled everything, got like whatever refunds we could get. I was just like, I don't want to do this. This seems like a waste of everybody's time because I had to do so many makeup classes because I was so far behind in high school that the first year was basically be like just rudimentary bull crap that I was like, I'll learn how to do the things that I want to do on my own. I don't need to go to school for
But what classes did you sign up for at Akron?
Well, I wanted to do like TV production, stuff like that. But to even get into those classes, I had to do like maths and sciences and all these different things that I had no interest in doing because they make you take a curriculum. And I wasn't going to do that.
You missed out on a good time in the AK Rowdy.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Be just fine.
But you didn't. But you didn't do TV production.
No.
That's what I mean. Usually people are like, well, I'm not going to go to that's something I can get in and learn on the job.
I had already started doing stand-up, and the only reason I wanted to do TV production or whatever it was to be better with camera so I could film comedy stuff.
Right.
Like it was not, or like write for comedy, whatever it was. It was just like, and I was like, well, I already know what I want to do. It's like at that point I knew I was going into stand-up.
Right.
And that's also why my mom tried to make me be she tried to sign me up for that auctioneer class.
Yeah. Oh, his mom. She's so sweet.
She just
That's microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what
$50, $50, $55, $60 bill. $60 bill and $5 to go, $65, $70 go, $70 to $5, make it $5, $75 go, $80 bill.
That's Bill at his finals.
My mom was like, it's still got a microphone. It's, you're in front of people, and you can probably make them laugh. And I was like, yeah, but it's not what I want to do. And so,
they're not looking for auctioneers to make people laugh. And they just rattle off what that hog is going for. And
did you know that there is like an auctioneer school?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I was signed up for it.
Oh, you
like I went to the class.
You have to learn how to do this. Nobody's naturally gifted.
But no, listen, I learned about this. So I recently hosted a Make-A-Wish gala. And so then I had to introduce the auctioneer to the stage.
Good for you.
What, they're auctioning off wishes?
No, it's crazy money. So all these
We're auctioning off this child who doesn't have much longer to live. Do I hear $200?
You guys are the worst. No.
I was at the school. Like I went to the class, and like the first intermission, I walked up to him and was like, hey, whatever money you can give me back, give it back because I'm not doing this. This is not for me. My mom told me to come try this. I hate it. No offense to you guys, but I'm not doing this. And they're like, cool. Thanks for not wasting our time. And I was like, thank you.
One less person they had to compete with on the auctioneer circuit.
Well, this auctioneer that did the Make-A-Wish gala, it was a female. And it was the first female that I have ever seen be an auctioneer. And she's around my age, so like, really young, like in her 20s.
Born in 96.
Yeah. And she was so good. And I was talking to her about it. I'm like, so what point did you know, like, I want to be an auctioneer when I grow up? She's like, well, that's not really how it went. Anyway, she told me her whole life story. She was actually working at in the marketing position at this auctioneer school. And then for whatever reason, they needed someone. And she's like, well, maybe I'll just learn and start doing it. And I'm like, wait, there's an auctioneer school. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's its own separate thing. I'm like, what? They just teach you how to talk fast and do it? She's like, no, they don't even teach you that. She's like, that's just called a chant. And it just happens with auctioneer. You just kind of teach that yourself. It's more of like, I don't know, the other inner workings of an auctioneer.
It's inner workings of it. It's like, because you a lot of auctions, it's not those ones. You're doing more like silent auction type stuff, but it's a lot of pricing of things and
that's
marketing and stuff like that.
Silent auctions, you got to whisper really fast.
Front of a live audience and a panel of judges.
Here we go. Want it tonight, guys? What do you say? Auctions on. How many dollars on it? What do you get? 25. What do you get? 25. 30. What do you get? 30. Now 35. What do you get? 35.
And with that,
sold it your way. $225. Sold it.
She won.
And the 2000.
You got to do that. You're like a
I
drill
talk pretty
rapper
fast.
while you're up there.
It's auction! You gotta buy these cattle.
Yeah, Leroy Jenkins.
It like is a talent because I talk fast naturally. So I'm thinking, oh, I could probably do it. So I made friends with this auctioneer. So she's trying to teach me. I'm like, man, that is a skill. That is tough.
Yeah,
Yes.
the champs are
Can't do it.
serious, Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to incorporate the people bidding and what it's
Right.
up to. You got to do math, and it's a
Memorization.
Oh, man.
All of it.
yeah, it's pretty wild. So
Bill
Bill's
could have been an auctioneer.
Bill's family's
I couldn't.
dreams of
That's
him
the
being
thing.
an auctioneer.
I couldn't
were
have been an
dashed.
auctioneer. I couldn't have been anything like it. And that was the whole thing is once I got onto this path, I was like, no backup plan, no, just going to comedy. And then, did stand up for 8 years. I ended up on this show, and it's been real good.
And that's why I didn't care about walking at graduation, because I was a year into radio. I
Yeah.
was 3 years into stand-up. So I was like, this doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
I have 2 degrees I'm never going to use. And so this lady, though.
the rest is history.
50. Now 75. What do you get? 75.
She now works upwards of 40 events a year. Hobson typically sells real estate or helps a charity bring in money.
You guys, that's her.
Oh, that's
Hobson.
the
Her
girl-
name is Morgan Hobson.
A woman from North Texas?
Ellen.
Morgan Hobson, that's her,
Oh,
yeah.
That was my friend. That's my new.
Really?
My mind
Oh,
is
now you're
blown.
going to end up in her wedding.
Wait, guys, I am mind blown right now. The fact that I
We
just
met
got
at
done telling you.
50. Now 75.
How'd you know? Did they say her name?
She said Hobson. She goes, that was Hobson.
What do you get? 75.
She now works upwards of 40 events a year. Hobson
Yeah.
typically sells real estate or helps a charity bring in money.
Charity.
We met
I
at
was with
Scottish
Champion
Rite
auctioneer.
Hospital in Dallas, which partners with the Texas Auctioneers Association for a children's fun auction every December.
This is from Fox 4 in Dallas 4 years ago.
Alan, I am mind blown. The fact that I just got done telling you a story that I met a female auctioneer. I said, I've never heard of a female auctioneer, and you play this, and it's her. That means she's probably the only one.
Or like
listen,
one of few, yeah.
She's the one that talked to me about the auction. We're Instagram friends now. She's like, let me know if you want to come to Texas and visit. You just played my friend. I can't wait to tell her.
The little clip there, when you slow it down, she goes, I know Bridget Linton.
For them to entrust us with that opportunity and to be able to give back and to raise money, knowing that they're going out and they're helping others, that's, you couldn't ask for anything more.
Talent
girl
and
Morgan.
a lot of practice.
125. 150. You 150. What do you get? 150. Come back in. $150.
But the
I
hard
bet
work
she could make a machine gun sound. I bet this Hobson lady would do a killer machine gun sound. What's a machine gun sound like, Bridget?
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, pretty good.
I had to do like the motion.
She had to mime it.
Gotta act it out.
I think it would be great if somebody who's an auctioneer just got asked to host random events, like an award show.
Yeah.
But they're doing it with the same pace. But everybody complains that award shows are too long. Get an auctioneer to give them away.
Boom.
Auctioneer, get your girl to host the Oscars.
Yeah.
We're back home in an hour.
I am still mind blown that you just played Morgan. When they said Hobson, I'm like, her name's Morgan Hobson.
Morgan Hobson from Dallas, Texas.
I thought it was crazy because this gala was in Columbus, Ohio. So when she was telling me she's from Texas, I'm like, oh my gosh, you came all the way from Texas? She's like, well, there's, again, not a lot of auctioneer schools around. They say Texas, Ohio, and one other one are where you can go to these auctioneer schools. And she was like,
It
yeah,
wasn't a
and-
Best Western. It wasn't like in a school, the one that I was signed up for.
Oh, no, hers
Yeah.
is like a legit
Yeah.
auctioneer school.
I mean, this is also 20 years ago.
Yeah, true. So,
How long is the training?
I don't know. Good
I don't know.
question.
I
I think she
quit.
probably told me. I can't remember, though. But when
Perhaps this is the universe telling you to recontact your friend.
I am. I mean, it was only
I mean, by
it was
now
last month.
she might be dead by now. but
No,
I mean,
we just did this event together last month.
Oh.
That's what I'm
well,
saying.
then forget what I said.
I cannot wait to. I remember. I can't wait to text her in the commercial break and say, "I just got done talking about you on the radio," not even realizing that we were gonna pull up clips of you.
Mm-hmm. Fox 4 in Dallas.
You guys are not as mind blown as I am right now.
right there. I mean, I'm mind blown yet.